Every morning, everything felt normal. Until one day, it didn't. At first, it was just a small thing. A single bird, not doing what birds usually do. It wasn't flying with the others. It wasn't eating. It wasn't even making a sound. It was just watching. And the longer I looked at it, the more I realized this wasn't random. This wasn't coincidence. This bird was trying to tell me something. Welcome to Backyard Bird Mysteries. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, because what you're about to hear might completely change the way you look at the birds in your yard. It started like any other day. Same routine, same coffee. Same quiet morning air. The birds were already active. You could hear them, chirping, fluttering, hopping from branch to branch like they always do. But then I noticed one, perched lower than the rest, a small bird, nothing unusual about its appearance. But its behavior? That's what caught my attention. It wasn't moving much. Just sitting there, head slightly tilted, staring, not at the feeder, not at the trees, at me. At first, I ignored it. Birds look around all the time, right? That's normal. But when I came back outside a few minutes later, it was still there, same spot, same position, still watching. Now, this is where it started to feel off, because most birds, they don't stay still for long. They're constantly moving, searching for food, reacting to sounds, staying alert for predators. But this one, it was calm, too calm, almost like it had a purpose. I tried to test it. I moved a little closer. Nothing, no flinch, no flight, not even a small adjustment, just that same quiet stare. That's when I started to feel it. That strange feeling in your chest when something doesn't quite make sense, but you can't explain why. So I went inside, told myself I was overthinking it. But here's where things got even stranger. When I came back out later, it was still there. Horse had passed. Other birds had come and gone. The feeder had been busy. The trees had been full of movement. But not this one. It hadn't left. Now I was curious. So I sat down, quietly, and just watched it. And that's when I noticed something I hadn't seen before. Its eyes weren't just looking in my direction. They were tracking me. Every small movement I made, shifting in my chair, lifting my hand, even turning my head, it followed, slowly, precisely, like it was studying me. Now, if you've ever spent time around birds, you know they're intelligent. Way more than people give them credit for. Some species can recognize human faces. Some remember patterns. Some even pass information to other birds. But this felt different. This felt intentional. And then it finally moved. Not away, not up into the trees. Closer, it hopped down, one step at a time, still watching, still silent. And for a moment, I just froze. Because there's something deeply unsettling about being watched by something that doesn't seem afraid of you, especially when it's not supposed to act that way. Then it stopped again, just a few feet closer than before. And that's when I saw it. Something small, near its leg. At first, I thought it might be an injury. Maybe that's why it wasn't flying. But when I leaned in slightly, I realized it wasn't hurt. It was carrying something. A thin piece of string, tangled loosely around its foot. Not tight enough to trap it completely, but enough to slow it down. Enough to keep it from flying properly. And suddenly, everything made sense. That's why it stayed. That's why it wasn't feeding. That's why it kept watching me. It wasn't just observing. It was waiting. Now here's the part most people don't think about. When a bird is in trouble, it doesn't just panic. Some birds, especially the smarter ones, adapt. They assess. They look for patterns. And sometimes, they look for help. That bird had probably been there for hours, maybe longer, watching me go in and out, noticing that I wasn't a threat, noticing that I came back, noticing that I was predictable. And slowly, it made a decision to stay, to wait, to trust. I moved carefully, slow movements, no sudden gestures. Because one wrong move, and it might panic, injure itself, or fly off and make things worse. I got closer step by step, and for a second, I thought it might finally take off, but it didn't. It stayed still watching, still calm, almost like it understood what I was trying to do. I crouched down, reached out slowly, and that's when time seemed to slow down, because in that moment, there's a line between wild and human. And crossing that line, even for a second, is something you don't forget. My hand got closer. And then I gently touched the string. The bird tensed, but didn't fly. I could feel its heartbeat, fast but steady, and carefully, slowly. I loosened the string. It took a few seconds, but finally, it slipped free. The bird stayed there for a moment, not moving, not flying, just there. And then suddenly, it jumped, wings spread wide. And for the first time since I'd seen it, it flew up into the air, clean, strong, free. It circled once, then again. And for a brief second, it passed right in front of me, close enough that I could see its eyes clearly. And I swear, for just a moment, it looked back, then it was gone, blending into the trees, back to where it belonged. Now, you might think that's the end of the story, but it's not, because what happened after is what really stayed with me. The next morning, I went outside again. Same routine, same coffee, same quiet air. And at first, everything seemed normal. Birds chirping, feeder active, trees moving with life. But then Abby saw it again. The same bird, different branch, different position, but unmistakably the same. And this time, it wasn't acting strange. It was behaving like every other bird, flying, feeding, blending in, except for one thing. Every now and then, it would stop, turn its head, and look at me, not constantly, not intensely like before, just briefly, like a quiet acknowledgement. And then it would go back to what it was doing. Now maybe you're thinking, that's just coincidence. Maybe it is. But here's what I can't ignore. Out of all the places it could go, out of all the trees, rooftops, yards, and skies, it came back to the exact same place. And not just once. For days after that, I'd see it. Never acting strange again, never needing help, just there, part of the background, but never completely gone. And it made me realize something most people overlook: the birds in your yard. They're not just passing through, they're watching, learning, remembering. They notice patterns, they recognize faces, they make decisions. And sometimes, when something goes wrong, they choose who to trust. That one moment changed everything for me, because now, every time I step outside, I wonder, how many of them are watching right now? How many of them recognize me? And how many are waiting for something I don't even realize yet? So next time you're in your backyard, take a second, look around, really look. Because one day, you might notice something small, something subtle, a bird acting just a little bit strange. And if you do, don't ignore it, because it might not just be random. It might be trying to tell you something. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure you subscribe to Backyard Bird Mysteries for more videos like this, because trust me, the more you watch them, the more you start to realize your backyard isn't as ordinary as it seems.